So one of the concerns that we often get with autism is independence. Like, would my child be able to be independent? Can they be independent? What do I need to do to get them to be independent? So the first thing you want to do is you want to focus on treatment as early as possible, and you want to make sure that when you're planning for the treatment, you express that your goal is for your child to be independent. And then through the treatment modality with the practitioners that are working with your child, you have that as part of the plan. The plan is independence. One way that I think independence can start to be shown is through their interest. So when you have maybe a high schooler that is, let's say, very interested in animals, maybe a really nice way to see if they can hold down a job is to give them an opportunity to volunteer at an animal shelter. It's a low risk sort of situation. Animal shelters always need volunteers, and they can go and they can get the sense for what it's like to show up at a pre-appointed time, stop what you're doing, go at 3 o'clock, because that's when you're supposed to be there. You have to be there from 3 to 6, so you have to stay at 3 to 6. And you know what? You're going to do whatever you're told to do. Maybe one day you're walking dogs. Maybe one day you're petting cats. Maybe one day you're picking up poop. All of those things are important at the animal shelter, and that kind of mimics a job. There's going to be things you're going to need to do, whether you really want to or not, and you're going to have to show up on time for that work. And you're going to have to get along with the people that you're working with, or get along with the people at the animal shelter that you're working with. So being able to set up those sort of situations are really helpful. Another, I think, really good time for independence is when they go to college. What's really great, at least about America, is a lot of colleges support diversity, which includes having support and programs for individuals with autism, and as well as other sort of disabilities and other sort of special needs. So many universities have some sort of student department for disabilities. So what you want to do is you want to reach out to them and find out what services are available for the university or college that your individual child is interested in, and then set them up for success. One common thing that I notice that often happens is what's called a medical single, meaning instead of having 2 or 3 roommates, which is very common in college, which can be very challenging for an individual with autism, especially if socialization is overwhelming or taxing, meaning it's exhausting for them to do, is to have to always have people in their space, as well as sharing their space could also be considered challenging. So a medical single, which is a very common accommodation, is you pay the double or triple price, but your child's in the room by themselves. So at least they have a safe space that's their own. They don't have to deal with all the roommate drama that could happen in a roommate situation, but they're able to access college and they're able to go to college. And they still have to have that experience of getting up on time, going to class, getting their work done, feeding themselves, doing their laundry, keeping their space nice and neat. And also, dealing with the social aspect of college, talking to people in the hall, talking to people at the dining hall. So they have that social aspect in a contained environment. And also student disability offices can also help with other aspects of school as well. And every college or university is different. So it's best to reach out ahead of time, even before applying, to find out what options are available.